Yeah.
But now that we're caught up with the comments, we touched upon basically all the other categories. We're gonna talk about the meat and potatoes of what happened in the in the 94th Academy Awards. Obviously, everybody's talking about what happened with Chris Rock and Will Smith. We kind of already touched upon it. How I missed the whole thing. It came back and all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
Um, but I just kind of wanted to say that before we get into anything like this, like no matter what me and Audrey's point of view is, like there's gonna be people who agree with us and disagree. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, but we have to remember that we are all humans. You know what I'm saying? We've all been on both sides of the spectrum when we say something we regret or that we shouldn't have, and also done something like physically probably well, not we haven't probably all been there, but we're all human and we make mistakes, and I feel like that night was like in more of an indication of that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because I genuinely feel like both those guys are great people. Like they're great, good people, and great actors and everything like that. It's just that specific moment, just
Yeah. All hell broke loose. It was just a bizarre.
yeah,
It's just, it's still kind of weird. Still bizarre to me. Doesn't
yeah,
make much sense, especially with everything else that's coming to light, like the fact that we see Will Smith laughing and then he freaks out. That's, yeah. For me, I'm kind of like, that's weird.
yeah.
Like, how can you go from being like, ah, yeah,
I feel
and
like
then
he laughed,
poof,
looked at Jada, and she was
like, nope, you better
she
handle
gave him
that
a look.
shit.
Yeah,
And he was like, all right. But you see, to me, I mean, like I said, I don't know. We none of us know. To me, I'm kind of like, that just doesn't, something about that just doesn't like sit well with me for whatever reason. The fact that he felt so strongly
yeah,
that he would do this on national TV. I don't know. I don't know. I just, I can't. I can't, like, it's like I said, it's weird. It's a whole weird situation.
yeah,
Um, but and then there has been like a lot of speculation saying that it was staged because of the way that Chris Rock like kind of leans forward. Like it does look like he kind of goes like this and he's like
yeah.
bracing himself. But we don't know. Like we honestly have no idea. We're never
Yeah,
gonna know.
we're never gonna know. Like I said earlier, like it might have been like I was telling you guys last night too. It was like WWE writers like wrote this year's Oscars, and hey, we got to get good ratings, so let's have someone physically assault
Let's
someone.
have a rumble.
Let's
Yeah.
have a rumble, and then we had a nip slip too. That's very
Oh
WWF
yeah.
in the '90s.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, look, my point of view is like no matter what happened, I don't think um physical assault or violence is like the answer, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Like no matter what.
What would Jesus do? That's what
What would
I
Jesus do
that's what
exactly?
I
He would
kept saying.
literally,
I kept telling Ben, I was like, what would Jesus do, babe?
yeah. And a lot, what sucks about this situation is like maybe in someone's point of view, they would have said, "What would Will Smith do?" You know what I'm saying? Because he was like, for me growing up, like one of those people who um I don't want to say I idolized, but I held in high
Yeah.
regards as like Will Smith. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
He was a singer, that we all looked up to. He was Fresh
Everyone loved
Prince,
him. Everyone loves
Um
him.
and like again, like he said, I don't know if it was like in a documentary or like he was being interviewed. There's this one thing that has stayed with me from him. Obviously, there's that one thing like, hey, if you want to build a wall or something or a house, it takes like a brick a day or something. You just do it
Yeah.
one, but But for me, he was like, look, there might be better actors than me, better like fighters, better looking, more richer, but like I guarantee you, I can outlast anybody on the treadmill. Like I run, I do that every day. And for me, what I took about that is like, dude, like there's always going to be that one thing that separates you from other people. You got to focus on that, and you got to. So
Mhm.
again, he's just very like for me one of those guys like, dude, like obviously his whole family, his relationship with Jada up until like a few years ago. Um,
Mhm.
so that's why I was kind of like, man, like for to watch him do something like this, it sucks, and especially because I've thought like him
It
and
seemed out of character.
yeah, it just didn't seem like him at all, and like for me, like to possibly see Will Smith finally getting what he deserves on the Oscar, because he's done incredible work in the past, you know.
Yeah.
Now again, like we said, it's tarnished by all this and stuff like that, and it sucks, you know.
It was like the most Will Smith thing to do, and also the least, because the whole my thought process when it first happened, I was like, oh, it's him being dumb, because it kind
Yeah,
of looked like a dumb slap. Not gonna lie, it didn't look like a good like boom,
yeah,
because you could even hear the mic get hit, like where he kind of missed. I guess he
yeah,
did slap him, but still, like it sounded kind of weird, and it looked goofy. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, he's just being Will Smith and it's probably just like a skit.
yeah,
But then when they pan to him yelling at Chris Rock, you see like the anger in his face and you're like, oh fuck, like no,
yeah. And he said
he's
it twice.
actually, yeah, like he's actually pissed. So I was like, oh fuck. And then I think I'm like, what if someone else had said that? Like, what if it was someone bigger? Would he still have
Like The
done that?
Rock, or
Yeah.
I don't think he would
Like,
have gotten up there. Like, Jada, I
like,
love you, but it was just a joke.
like, yeah, no, you're gonna have to work that out yourself. Yeah.
Yeah,
For me, honestly, at the end of the day, I feel like there's bigger problems in the world, but I feel like a lot of the things that have come out from this, like now, is just a bigger issue. Like it
yeah,
started off as just like this one person assaulting another person because this person said something that hurt them. Okay, that's perfectly human. And then, but now I feel like it's growing into something way like people are like now like bringing like politics into it and like
as always.
health and like all this like and I'm like, damn, like
Yeah,
so that's why I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna like I couldn't even be on social media because it was everywhere. It was on
yeah. That's
Facebook, it
all.
was on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere.
Yeah, and the fact that like it's crazy too that like a lot of people made like so many videos on TikTok already about it. Like it's crazy, but like the turnaround of that. Um,
And you
but
know
yeah, I
what's
mean,
nuts? Oh, sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
I was just gonna say like, hey, look, like everything that we're. I mean, people have already said everything that we're gonna say. There's just
Yeah.
like our take and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, like going back to like when I first found out, I honestly thought like it was a skit because the way my
Mm-hmm.
girl was describing it to me, and just the fact that somebody would do that to somebody else on, again, like you said, on live television and stuff like that, that sounds like too bizarre to see, you know, to be
In
true.
front of all of your peers that you
Yeah,
respect. You know what I mean? Like you got like some legendary people in there that as an actor I would think you have a lot of respect for,
yeah,
you know, and you look up to them. I don't know. Whole thing's bizarre. But what I was gonna say about the whole TikTok thing is it's crazy because Will Smith had 2 million followers prior to this. Now he has 68 million followers.
he has 68 million now.
Yeah,
Holy shit!
isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
I
Because you
was
see, that's
like,
the thing too. That like what's come out of this is like people seem to be on both sides of the spectrum. Like, hey,
yeah,
hell
it's
yeah,
very
like
divisive.
Will stood up for his wife. Like I would have done the same thing. I actually told Cindy, I was like, look, if somebody said that to you, I probably would have done the same thing. You know what I'm
Really?
saying? But again, like I that's the thing that
I'm like,
like
damn, really?
it's just like our animal instinct, you know, because that at the end of the day, that's what we are. You know what I'm saying? We're human.
Yeah,
We have like this raw, like sometimes, you know, I don't wanna get too much into it, but like I think again, like for Will to be one of those people who like in this situation, he should have been the bigger man. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like maybe I would have been okay with him just saying, "Hey," like if he was just shouting to him, like, "Hey, Chris, like, you know, keep my wife's name out of your mouth." Like if he didn't go up there, you know what I'm saying? If he just shouted that, I would have been okay, cool, you know?
yeah.
Or like talk to him afterwards or something. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Or he could have just been like, all right, that's too far, or something. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It just, yeah, it seemed really impulsive
yeah. And
for
for Chris,
him.
again, like we were saying earlier, he took it so well. Like he was trying to be professional and everything like that. And again, it's like this side too. Like, hey, it's just comedy. It's just comedians doing their thing. Like, what do you expect for a comedian to do? Like, that's what they're hired to do, you know. And again, with this whole PC culture and everything like that has been coming up lately. Like, you know, a lot of comedians have said, hey, it's not fun to be a comedian anymore because we can't do what we normally do. And you know, I think there is a line like that could be crossed. But if you look at what Chris said, it's not like if you put it in the context of like he was kind of complimenting her because like a lot of people were saying Demi Moore in GI Jane looked great, even
Yeah,
with
she's
no
like
hair, like she looked
ripped.
fire, and even to me, Jada looks beautiful like that. Like I had no like, like hey, she doesn't have hair,
Yeah.
Again, not
I
trying to
thought she was
downplay
just
that.
rocking it cuz I know she's very like trendy, like she likes to do like really like
Yeah,
cool stuff. So I thought she was just rocking it cuz I was like, yeah, it looks good. But yeah, like I that's another thing that just kind of like perplexed me cuz I was like Will Smith is like a comedian too. Like he kind of comes from that background. So I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
yeah.
It's all very weird, but
And
yeah,
like
it was
Chris
nuts.
said, he well, he didn't say it there, but a lot of people say, hey, he could have said worse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He could have said something else. And again, going back to the whole GIJ thing, is like maybe he was again like complimenting her in the sense of like, because if you look at what that movie is about, it's about a girl going to like the army and all that stuff, and you know um kind of proving a lot of people wrong. Maybe that's what he
Mhm.
was saying. Jada is like, because Jada's been like a figure like that, like, hey, like do your own thing and stuff like that. Maybe that's why he's like, hey, like,
Yeah, she's all about like female empowerment.
yeah. So maybe that's what he meant, and he didn't. I don't know if he knew about the whole alopecia thing and the autoimmune disease that she has. But maybe that's how she took it. You know what I'm saying? And like, again, I don't know.
Yeah. It was nuts. It was
Yeah,
intense.
we have
Um,
here Robert Mexico. He's like, hey, John and Audrey, sorry I'm late. How are you guys doing? It's local. Yeah, man,
local.
it's just crazy. It's just bizarre that like
And
this happened. Um,
then you just see him like dancing on me. I
yeah,
was shocked that no one escorted him out. I was like, okay.
that's the thing.
I was like, he's just gonna sit there and everyone's just gonna clap. Like everyone was clapping, and I'm
Yeah,
like, how? Like a lot of people are also saying like, well, Chris Rock deserved it because he was talking shit, and I'm like, dude, he's a host.
yeah,
He's a comedian. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think anyone deserves to be like. I understand if he said something like you said, like maybe like extremely like fucked up,
yeah,
or I don't know. I don't know. I just to me it seemed like read the room. Like, you know what
yeah,
I mean? Like, come on, dude. Like I take it you have to like kind of take everything in consideration, like where you're at. Like you don't just like there's millions of times when I'm at work and I'm like, oof, someone's testing me today. But I'm not just gonna be like, boom, you know what I mean? Like you
yeah,
kind of like there's things that you do
yeah.
to like calm yourself.
Woosah.
Um yeah, like in what's it called? Turning your head. Huh?
Oh
When
yeah,
she's like
yeah.
brushing herself.
And also in Bad Boys, that's another thing. What the police commissioner or police boss, like he has anger issues, and
Oh
then
yeah.
remember Lamar and Lawrence went to like.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it was nuts. But he did handle it really well.
yeah, and again, like it's not like I feel like what I said earlier can come across about like, oh, like comedians can say like whatever they want, but like I did say, like there's a certain line, and George Carlin said like anything can be funny, but not everybody can make it funny. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
there's also different settings, different things, and it's not like you're gonna make COVID jokes right in the middle of the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Like if someone
Yeah.
comes up and does that, then yeah, like fuck that guy. Like we're in the middle of the pandemic. Why are you doing this right now?
Yeah.
Um, but what did you think? Again, that was very interesting. Again, like I agree with you. Like the Academy has come out and said, hey, like we don't condone any of these actions, but yet they didn't take any action when that happened. They still let Will Smith be there, and you can see him like even when when Pete Diddy came out, he was like, hey, don't worry, Will and Chris, we're gonna work this out like
Like
family or something. You
family.
can see Will and Jada like laughing about it.
Yeah.
Like they were there, and
Yeah,
maybe
that's
the
what makes me
Academy,
feel so weird.
yeah, like even
How can you just
again,
sit there?
yeah, it's so weird, and a lot of things have come out like after that, like there's been like little videos of like I guess Denzel and Tyler Perry like with
Yeah.
Will Smith and like all that stuff, and there's even been a photo of Denzel with Chris Rock on the stage and like Will Smith there, like maybe they talked it out or something, but it was still very like awkward and all that stuff.
Denzel's like very like remember the Titan status. He's like, you're gonna
Yeah.
work this shit out, boy.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
they like one of the things said that they were like meditating or something, you know?
That's another thing. Okay, now we're getting like deep into it. That's another thing that I've been hearing. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. This is just shit that I see online. But I also heard that I apparently Will Smith is a Scientologist. I didn't know that.
I think I heard something
I
like
know a
that
lot of
before.
celebrities are, but I didn't know he was one of them.
It's a
So a lot of
cult.
people, yeah, well, a lot of people were saying that apparently, like, that's like one of their laws that like you can't talk bad about, or if like someone shows disrespect towards like someone in the Scientology group, like you have to show them discipline with an open hand, and that's why he slapped him instead of punched him. So yeah, there's like all these crazy like theories now.
Yeah.
Once again, we'll never know. But the whole like meditation thing, I can totally see that because yeah, like Jada said something about healing. And I'm like,
Yeah, I did see that.
for me it's a little contradicting. Like I get that it's like we're all as humans, we're good and bad. Like we're yin and yang. That's like the whole thing. But like, I don't know.
It's all about balance. Like
I'm just
Thanos
kind of
said. No, I'm
like
just kidding. Imagine.
it's like I'm gonna slap you with some love.
Yeah.
Dude, the memes that have come out with this are crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. There's obviously the internet is still undefeated. There was this one specific
Oh.
SpongeBob one where I was just dying, like already. But
But I still think like that it was just like one of the things that is gonna go down in history. And even Chris Rock
yeah,
said he's like this
that
is
was
gonna be
the greatest thing on
greatest
national
TV.
television or something.
Yeah. So he took it in stride. He took it on the chin, and he kept
Yeah.
going. Cause I'm thinking, what would I have done?
Yeah, I would just probably left. I'm like, all right, I can't be here anymore or something, like
Yeah, like I'm like, damn, like you gotta have thick skin, I guess, like because
yeah.
he did a really good job at handling himself. So
Yeah.
kudos to him.
Which is again, a lot of stuff has come out of this. A lot of people are referencing Will Smith's book and also referencing the new podcast that I actually been listening to called Fly on the Wall, which is with David Spade and Dana Carvey. They recently had Chris Rock on there, and he's kind of said stuff about him growing up and him being bullied, and about like he like beating this kid with a bag of bricks or something. Now ever since then he's been in therapy and kind of saying he's been scared of his own anger and what that can do. So there's a lot of stuff. But
No,
going
I
back to
get
the
it. Oh, sorry.
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I
Go
was
ahead.
gonna say, going back to the Academy Awards themselves, like I was just really surprised that they didn't do anything. Like he was still there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But my only thing was is like, well, maybe he's there because he's gonna win.
Yeah.
Like so.
That's what I
Obviously, he
thought.
did end up winning. And what do you think about that speech? Everybody was like, "Fuck! Like, what is he gonna say?
Yeah.
Like, what's gonna happen?" Because what did you
Well,
think?
like I said, it was like everyone was holding their breath because I was like, damn, that's gonna be an awkward ass speech. And it's
Yeah,
just a shame that it was overshadowed. But as soon as he got up there, I could tell that he was really I don't think he's in a good place emotionally. Like I feel like he has some struggles going on, or maybe like the role took a toll on him, because that's what I was kind of getting from that, is that he very much embraced the role that the is that King Richard the movie is basically about, like the dad being a
yeah,
protector and being kind of like this like vessel of like love and stuff, which to me, I'm kind of like, I get that you want to be a protector to your family. Like I totally can see that, like especially if you have kids and stuff like that. I yeah, totally can see how you would want to be this lion that's going to be protecting their kids, but
yeah,
it was just a little contradicting to me, and I didn't like when he said love makes you do crazy things, because I don't take that in a good way. Like I don't take that in a positive way. Like I take that in a negative way, because I feel like that's kind of a cop out to say
yeah,
like, oh, I love you so much, like with blind rage, that I beat you up, or I beat this guy up, or I beat, like someone looking at you on the street. Cause there's men that are like that. I've
yeah,
met men like that they're just so like, they think it's romantic. Like, oh, like I'm so like infatuated with you, or I'm so in love with you that like I'll kill anyone that like sees you, or just this blind, like jealous rage. And I'm kind of like, that's toxic to
Yeah.
me. I feel like that's not love. That's not like, I think that's, to a certain degree, that can be very toxic. That's what I think. So when he said that specific line, I was like, oh, that's not, I don't really like that. Like, once again, like, I don't know him and his wife's relationship, but obviously from what we've seen online, it's very like, they have their own thing. Like, they're very
Yeah.
like, we do things our way. So I don't know, but that's what
Yeah.
I thought. What did you think?
Yeah, I was just holding my breath to see like what he was gonna say. I was like, oh shit, like this is the moment. And again, yeah, I just thought his speech was very all over the place. I guess they had to like go away because he was like snot came out or something. I don't know.
Oh shit.
Remember I think that's when they panned to the Williams sisters and there was that nip slip.
Oh, because he
Um
was just like crying.
he was just crying and everything like that, and he said he wasn't crying because of like his win. He was just crying for like what it meant to the other family and stuff like that, and
Mm.
and King Richard himself. um yeah, I just again, I would have loved to see him say what he said a day later when because he did do an apology to Chris and everything like that, and I would have loved to see that and that time, like, hey, I know it's my time to shine, and to like we're here to celebrate my work in this specific family and stuff like that. So I get what he was trying to do, but it's like, dude, like you could have done both. Like he did apologize to his fellow nominees and the academy there. And I would love to
But
see.
not
I would
Chris
have
Rock.
loved, to see directly to Chris Rock and stuff. Because again, Chris Rock chose not to press charges, but still, dude, like that's gonna live on forever, dude. I think who said. I think Jim Carrey. Remember that thing I sent you? He said, "Hey, next day you would have saw me sue Will Smith for $200 million." So it takes. I don't know again what happened backstage with Denzel and all that stuff, but again, I just thought his speech was very like he was trying to hit a lot of different points, and
Yeah. It
it
was
was
just
just
coming
kind of
out. It was just coming out
yeah,
like spewage. Like he was just like, oh, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like he's not in a good emotional space right now. We don't know why. We don't know his life. We have no idea who these people are. So I'm just going off of what I'm seeing. And to
yeah,
me, that's kind of what it looked like. Because I understand that a lot of these acting roles can take a toll on actors because we've
yeah.
heard it before, like with Heath Ledger and like all these other people that have taken on these like roles, and it affects them deeply. So I can only imagine the shit that he's going through and like having your like love life, your marriage on blast all the time, especially in the recent years with the whole like Jada and her like having an affair or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's like a lot of things to take in consideration. But it's just, this whole thing has been very divisive. I just don't like that it's turning into something like people are just using it
It's
now,
just
like now
blown out
into
of
something
proportion.
else. Yeah, like it's like now it's not even about two people just like dealing with something. Like
Yeah.
it's not like old school where like, oh, you talked about my girlfriend, like like
Yeah.
I'm gonna knock you out. Like now it's just like this whole like thing. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, if it's just two dudes like going at it, but now it's just like something like crazy. So
Yeah.
let us know in the comments. Where do you guys stand? Or
Yeah.
if you're over it,
Definitely.
you don't want to
Definitely
hear
let us
about
know in
this
the
anymore.
comments. But there was that one specific here's the thing. Like, do I understand why he did that? Yeah, I do understand. Like, again, more has come out that like in his book, like the first sentence, I guess, of the book, or the first you know, said that he believes to be a coward himself. Like he saw his mom being beat by his dad, like growing up, and he should have done something. Like his life is a bunch of moments of him like being like, "Fuck, should I do something?" But he didn't.
Yeah.
And again, this is his wife who he loves, and she has been suffering with something very openly, that's I wouldn't wish that upon anybody, and maybe just at that moment everything's been built up,
Yeah.
and
Because
he
that's
just let
happened
it
too.
out.
Yeah. Because that
um
definitely happens. Like it definitely happens. Like when you're struggling with a lot of different things, just one thing will set you off, and it's not even like that big of a deal. And
yeah,
you're just like, damn, I shouldn't have reacted that way. But it's just like
yeah,
a accumulation of everything. So yeah, I can totally see that side too. Like I said, I'm not really like defending one side
yeah,
completely because I don't think it's black and white like that. I
Yeah.
really don't. I think that there's a lot of variables, but I can definitely see both sides.
Yeah. And I do like the other part too that he said that like they're in this business where they kind of have to be like they just have to take a lot of things like abuse and stuff like that. And again, like I understand all that. Like I don't think, I'm not a fucking megastar millionaire, whose my life is, on display and stuff like that. But I do think what he did have a point. Like these celebrities probably have to take a lot. And maybe a lot of people are like, well, that's what they signed up for, and all that stuff. But like, you know, you just have to handle that in a certain other way, dude. If you don't want to take that criticism or that judgment or those jokes or that abuse, deal with it in another way.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah,
Or try your best to live your life in like a, because I always am amazed at these other stars where you really don't hear much about them. Like they're these
yeah,
mega stars, but you never hear anything about their
any
life, and you're like,
drama or
either they
nothing.
have a really good PR person, or they just like do really like good at not doing anything, at
Yeah,
getting caught. Because you think of someone like, I don't know, even I'm trying to think of someone well, one of the main ones has always been Keanu, because like, yeah, like we don't ever see like anything bad about him,
in fact,
if
everything
at
we do
all.
see is good.
Yeah, you're just like, the fuck. But yeah, so I feel like it's ultimately up to the person, but especially with Will Smith, I can completely understand, because all his family is famous. Like Jada's famous for doing her own thing. His kids are now famous for doing their own thing. The only one
Yeah,
that's not famous is his older son. And he's kind of like under the radar.
yeah,
So yeah, a lot of the things like you can't control, I think, when you're that big. I mean, people are gonna talk shit regardless. I mean, people talk shit now when you're not even like famous.
yeah.
so,
There's
so
still haters.
yeah, so it's not easy. Like, of course we're human, so like anytime someone says something mean about you or your family, of course you're gonna be like pissed, you know. Um, but I think we just all every each time that happens, we have the opportunity to like, okay, how can I handle this differently next time? Like if I didn't do well that time, like you can always learn from it, I feel.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And what do you think about this talk about them possibly taking his Oscar away because of that?
Uh I don't know. A part of me feels like they should have just taken action right there and then, because it would have made sense.
Yeah.
But the fact that they like let him like stay there, mingle, fucking
Take pictures and
high
all that.
five Questlove as he's walking up, like I'm like, the time's passed, my friends. Like, you guys should have just handled that shit right there and then. It would have made way more sense. Like, even if they just like pulled him to the side and like, something. But the fact that
Yeah.
everyone was just acting like, huh, okay, I was
Yeah.
like, okay, like, all right, I guess we're just gonna like let this happen, you
Yeah.
know. So I don't know.
And I was thinking too, I was like, well, if they're gonna take an Oscar away from a guy who like it's just recent thing, they're gonna have to look into taking a lot of other Oscars away from other people.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like,
Yeah,
and again, like the award for me, like I haven't seen the movie, but like if he deserved it, he deserved it. Like it's not like an award for, hey, I'm the fucking best human alive. I'm the best guy. I don't do anything. It was the award for best actor, for best
yeah,
performance. So if he
yeah.
was the best performance of that year, he
Then he was
deserves
a
it.
yeah,
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 So like I don't think he should get it taken. Maybe he should be like banned or like for a few years or just other repercussions, but not don't take the award away from him, because again, in this particular year, the whole academy voted for him and he deserved it in that aspect.
yeah. Because it's like the whole thing with like other people that have done horrible things, like what's his name? Oh my god, I'm forgetting his name. Woody Allen.
Woody
Like
Allen. I don't think Kevin Spacey's one, but Harvey
Harvey
Weinstein.
Weinstein, yeah. But like in someone like, for example, I'm using Woody Allen, like I still like his movies even though he's done
Yeah,
questionable things and bad things in the past.
yeah,
Um there's been a lot of things like that, right? That like people have gotten canceled because they did this and this and this. And I'm like, well, I'm not gonna throw away the movie. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah. And
because it's like for me, I'm like, okay, like yeah, this person's an actor and they made something, and that's like I enjoy that product. And that's it. Like I can separate it. As simple as that. So I do agree with you in the sense that yeah, if he really did win it, then he won it.
yeah.
So
And that's the thing too, that like I was gonna say, like, I mean, I'm still gonna watch his movies, I'm still gonna be a fan of his, but like maybe like just kind of it, you know this kind of tainted that for me, a little bit. Like he should have, like, obviously he should have done something different, but like it doesn't take away from, like, anything else. Like you said, like we're separating the art from real life and everything like that. And
he's kind
so
of like that phrase that people say, like, don't meet your heroes
yeah.
because you're gonna be disappointed. And I've always thought about that, like when people, like I've heard it being said, and I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. Like these people that you look up to and you think they have this like perfect life, and you see them on, like, you see him and Jada and like their talks on like her show. I've seen a few of her shows, and you're like, damn, like they look like they have such a cool relationship and this and that.
Yeah.
But the truth is, like, we don't know. Like we honestly have no idea. Everything
Yeah,
on social media is like fake, so we have like no idea what's going on behind the
they're
scenes.
choosing what to show us. So
Yeah, and I'm not
that's the
saying that
thing.
their relationship is bad, because I
Yeah.
mean it can be good, but it can be a real relationship where real relationships aren't always like 100%. You're always like in love or happy with that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think
And that's
that's
why I stay off social media. I try.
yeah, right.
Well, like I'm on there, I use it, but I don't post a lot of stuff. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah. I
Because
get that.
I mean, if you're gonna, I feel like that's what it's become now. It's become just like the highlights. Oh, hey, look, I went to San Francisco. Like, or hey, I got a new car. I
It's
got a new
really,
house or some shit.
it can be really debilitating, like especially like